Imagine being completely alone in the vast, freezing Russian taiga, miles away from civilization, only to realize you are not the one hunting. You are the prey. Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today, I am going to take you deep into the dark heart of the Russian wilderness, where the silence is deafening and the cold bites right through your bones. The taiga forest is an incredibly massive, seemingly endless ocean of giant pine trees covered in thick snow, with a thin, ghostly fog constantly lingering just above the frozen ground. In this remote part of the world, the distance between isolated villages is measured in days of travel, and a cell phone signal is a completely foreign, non-existent concept. Enter Mikhail, a tough, 40-year-old veteran hunter who has spent decades mastering the secrets of these unforgiving, ancient woods. He is a man widely known for his incredible bravery and calm demeanor. Someone who has faced down hungry wolves and survived harsh winters without ever breaking a sweat. Our story begins just a few weeks before the brutal winter fully sets in, as Mikhail heads deep into the forest to hunt deer and stock up on essential meat. But right from the very first day, the forest feels incredibly off. As if a heavy, invisible blanket of dread has been suddenly thrown over the towering pines. Mikhail starts discovering bizarre, unsettling signs. Massive, unnaturally large bear tracks press deep and heavy into the fresh, white snow. Then, he stumbles upon the violently mangled carcasses of large animals, torn apart with a sheer, brutal force that makes even his highly experienced stomach turn in disgust. The most terrifying clue, however, are the deep, aggressive claw marks gouged into the massive pine trunks, placed much higher than any normal bear could ever possibly reach. When the sun dips below the horizon and night falls, the true psychological terror begins to slowly unfold around his small, incredibly isolated campsite. Sitting alone by the fading, crackling embers of his fire, Mikhail begins to hear heavy, low sounds echoing ominously from the pitch-black tree line. Snap! A large branch breaks in the darkness. Then comes the unmistakable sound of rough, raspy breathing cutting sharply through the freezing night air. Heavy, deliberate footsteps start slowly circling his frail tent. And a chilling, paralyzing realization washes over the veteran hunter's mind. He is absolutely no longer the apex predator in these dark woods. A colossal, fearless bear is actively and systematically hunting him down. This massive creature shows absolutely no fear of the bright campfire or the distinct scent of a human, acting instead with a sinister, highly calculated intelligence. For several agonizing, sleepless days, the beast shadows his every move, appearing as a massive, dark silhouette shifting just out of sight between the towering pine trees. Mikhail's vital food supplies are rapidly dwindling. The temperature is dropping faster each day, and the absolute, crushing isolation is truly beginning to mess with his mind. The psychological torture tightens like a noose, especially when every single morning, he finds fresh, giant tracks just inches away from where he slept, proving the bear is toying with him. It becomes terrifyingly clear to Mikhail that this isn't just a random, unlucky encounter. The monster is patiently waiting for him to make one single, fatal mistake. The suffocating tension finally reaches its absolute breaking point on a pitch-black night when a ferocious, blinding blizzard violently rips through the taiga. The icy wind howls through the trees like a dying banshee. And suddenly, the massive beast steps out of the swirling darkness and right into the dim, flickering light of Mikhail's camp. Its muscular body is unimaginably huge. Thick clouds of hot steam erupt from its dark nostrils into the freezing air. And its cold, Soulless eyes reflect the dying flames. In a terrifying fraction of a second, Mikhail has to make the most crucial decision of his entire life: fight this unstoppable monster, or flee blindly into the deadly, freezing storm. Gripping his hunting rifle with freezing, violently trembling hands, Mikhail chooses to stand his ground, firing a deafening, desperate shot just as the giant monster lunges forward. What follows is a brutal, chaotic blur of tearing claws, agonizing physical pain, the sharp metallic smell of blood, and the raw, primal human instinct to simply survive. Against all conceivable odds, Mikhail manages to land a desperate, fatal strike with his hunting knife, eventually collapsing into the blood-stained snow. Severely wounded but miraculously alive, he barely makes it back to civilization days later, carrying horrific physical scars and a haunting, inescapable memory of the silent, deadly tiger that will never truly fade away. If this terrifying true survival story sent shivers down your spine, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more chilling wilderness tales. And let me know in the comments what you would have done in Mikhail's shoes.